ಸತತಮು ಚರಣಮು ಕೋರಿದಿನಿ ಕಮಲವಾದಯುಗಮು ನೌಮಿತಿ ಸುಂದರಿ ಶಂಕರಿ ಈ ಜಗಮುಲೋ ಸರಿಯು ಬರು
Hello, and welcome back to Raaga Rasika. This is a podcast program that explores the world of Carnatic music. Joining us from Albany, New York, is Vidya. Vidya, last time we were talking about Sivaranjani Raaga. At the very end, we said the next time we'll talk about a couple of compositions in Sivaranjani. So let's take it from there. Could you share with us a few compositions in Sivaranjani?
Today I would like to showcase two different compositions in the Raaga Sivaranjani. Incidentally, both of them are tilanas. Tilana being a composition format which we will define later in this episode. The first song that we are featuring today is a tilana composed by Sangeeta Kalanidhi, the late Sri Maharajapuram Santanam. So let me sing a snippet from that. Tom dri dri dim ta ta da na dim ta ta na di ra na di ra na di ra na dri dri tom dri dri dim ta ta da na dim ta da na di ra na di ra na di ra na dri dri. Sri Maharajapuram Santanam really popularized this tilana. This was one of the most popular songs that he would render, and I remember as a child having attended many of his concerts, the crowd would literally go into raptures when he started this tilana.
So, in your opinion, what was so special that the audience was just simply fascinated by this piece?
When I try to recall what made this composition so special, I think it's a combination of several factors. One being the raga itself, Sivaranjani, a very dramatic raga that would stand out at any time. The second being the golden voice of Sri Maharajapuram Santanam, which had a really unique quality to it. The third would be the way it started. You know, you start in the lower notes and you immediately go up to the higher octave. Tom dri dri dim ta ta da na dim ta ta na di ra na. So when you sing the ta na di ra na, the notes being pa da sa re ga. So the halting in the ga, which is the most dramatic note in my opinion in this ragam Sivaranjani, I think it really accentuates the effect of the entire song. So I think it's a combination of all these factors that really made this a very immensely popular piece.
Vidya, before we go to the second tilana that you were going to share with us, could you sing for us the notes of the first line of the Maharajapuram Santanam tilana?
Sure. Sa re ga pa da sa sa pa da sa re ga re sa da pa ga re sa re ga pa da sa da pa ga pa da sa re sa da pa da sa re ga re sa da pa ga re. So as you can see, we start from the lower sa and then we move to the higher octave and we pause for a while in the higher ga. So the way the tilana is structured to halt and pause and reflect for a while on the ga, I think really brings out the beauty of the raga to a great measure.
So now, Vidya, let's transition into the second tilana that you were planning to share with us.
Sure. The second tilana is my own guru, Lalgudi Sri Jayaraman's composition. It is in a variant of the Sivaranjani raga, that is the Mishra Sivaranjani. It is interesting, this tilana is set to a faster pace compared to the earlier composition that I rendered.
What is the tempo of the earlier one, or even what is the tala of the earlier one?
See, the earlier one is in Adi Talam. Both these tilanas that I'm talking about today are in Adi Talam. But if you look at the first one, we had it in what is called Madhyama Kalam, where we have two notes per beat of Adi Talam.
Okay.
And again, that may not be the way the entire song is structured. Just the opening line started on a more sedate note. In this Tilana, the opening line is very sprightly and fast paced. So it shows how, different composers bring out the beauty of the raga in different ways. And sometimes if you look at the same composer's composition in one raga, there could be a fast composition, a slow composition. It just shows how much depth there is to every raga or every aspect, in fact, in Carnatic music. So I'll render the opening line of the Mishra Sivaranjani Tilana by Sri Lalgudi Jayaraman. Tanadim tadim tajanudim tomtridim dirana dirana tanadim tadim tajanudim tomtridim dirana dirana tanadim tadim tajanudim tomtridim dirana dirana tam janudadim tom janudadim tam tanadadim 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 tadim tajanudim tomtridim dirana dirana tam janudadim tom janudadim tam tanadadim 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 tadim tajanudim tomtridim.
So now, in this Tilana with Lalgudi, you sang more than one line, but is it all Pallavi?
Well, basically, the Pallavi line of this Tilana has 2 lines to it. Yeah, the reason why this rendition might have seemed a little longer than the previous one was that it was rendered with more sangatis or variations to the line of the Tilana.
Could you share with me a couple of these sangatis? I know we talked about it previously, I think in the episode where we talked about Mahaganapatim, on what sangati is. But in this one, again, could you share with us what are a couple of the sangatis?
Sure. I think the best way to explain this would be again to sing the rhythmic syllables or jatis and then translate them into swarams. I'll first sing the first sangati of the Pallavi line. Tanadim tadim tajanudim tomtridim dirana dirana. If you look at the underlying notes, they would be Rida sariga pa da pa da ga da da pa gari sa. Let me move on to another sangati of the Pallavi. Tanadim tadim tajanudim tomtridim dirana tadirana. So if you look at the second variation or sangati, the first section remains the same. Tanadim tadim tajanudim tomtridim. There is no change in this section. But where the tune changes would be in the second part of the first line. The first sangati was dirana tadirana gadada pagarisa. The second sangati is dirana tadirana gapada daba pagarisa.
Now, you were mentioning that this was Mishra Sivaranjani. There is a slight difference between Sivaranjani and Mishra Sivaranjani in the additional ga that is employed in the raga. I'm presuming that in the Pallavi line so far we haven't heard that additional ga. Is that correct?
That's exactly correct.
Where in this composition would you get to hear the additional ga?
Sure. Typically, Devesh, when you have an additional note like this, which is called like an Anyaswaram or alien note, here the Anyaswaram being the Antara Gandharam or Ga3, such a swaram would be used somewhat sparingly. So you would not hear the Ga3 as frequently as you would hear the Ga2. In this particular composition, the Ga3 is first introduced in the Anupallavi. Tam tajam takajam tom tananadim tarim tanadim tadirana. So that's the opening line of the Anupallavi. Here we have so far not used the Antaragandharam or Ga3. But in a subsequent Sangati of the Anupallavi, the composer very subtly and beautifully introduces the Antaragandharam to create a very dramatic effect. And this is really what makes this Tilana a very special jewel. Tam tajam takajam tom tananadim tadim tanadim tadirana. So here I sang the Ga3 when I sang tam tajam takajam. So the underlying swarams were da pa ga, that is the sadharana gandharam or ga 2, which you would normally hear in Sivaranjani. And then I sang da pa ga. Here I sang the antara gandharam or ga 3, which is what makes this Mishra Sivaranjani. So da pa ga pa ga ga re za. The difference between the two gas really brings out the beauty of the raga to the fullest measure.
Before we finish up this episode, Vidya, let's now spend a little bit of time defining Tilana and understanding where in the concert format do people usually hear a Tilana and things like that.
The Tilana has become a really popular composition format in the last few decades. And like I mentioned earlier, my own guru, Lalgudi Sri Jairaman, is one of the most acclaimed composers of this format. The Tilana is generally a medium to fast-paced composition. Some Tilanas are a little on the slower side, but in general, most Tilanas are fairly fast-paced, especially as they get into the charanam or the final segments. And usually they give less importance to lyrics compared to many other composition formats. In Tilanas, we hear a lot of jatis. A jati can be considered as a rhythmic syllable. Like you would have heard takadim, tanadim, dirana. Those are all examples of jatis. You also occasionally hear swarams or notes in Tilanas. And usually the charanam line, the charanam being the third segment after the pallavi and the anupallavi in this format, you typically hear the lyrics, if any, in the opening line of the charanam. And then we again move on to more jatis and swarams. And it's very common to find a lot of interesting and intricate rhythmic patterns in Tilanas. Tilana is also an extremely popular item that is performed in a Bharatanatyam or South Indian classical dance recital. And it is typically sung as one of the concluding pieces in a Carnatic concert as well.
So that's all the time we have for today. Hope you join us next time. To learn more about Vidya, visit her online at vidyasubramanian.com. Write to us at www.raagarasika.com. That's RAAGARASIKA.com. Thank you. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.
चिंतामणि मंदिरस्थ शिवाकार मंच स्थित शिवरामे